Pisces are dreamers. I'm really, really big on zodiacs, if you guys can tell, based on my songs.
Yeah,
I
I
love
can.
zodiacs.
I can tell.
So yeah, Pisces are dreamers. We like to be in a fantasy world. We like to, feel like we're on cloud nine. And yeah, I'm just one of those people where if I really meet a person and I can be with you for 90 days, I'm like, okay, are we together now?
You done passed the probation period.
Yeah, are we together now? Like, what we doing? Because
Because we was together since day one.
Yeah.
You just didn't know yet.
What we doing? We together basically.
Right. And we together. Mm-hmm.
Cause it's T, we making moves, we just might go and make the news. Brand new episode every week, yeah, we dropping heat. Got a 7 with the juicy questions, this unfiltered tea. When you sit up on this couch, you feel just like some family. There go Boo behind the scenes, he's securing everything.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Goddess 7, and this is Cuzns Tea Podcast. Today, Cuzns, I have a special guest for y'all, but before we get into it, I just want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in every week. I love y'all so much, and y'all know I had to bring y'all somebody else that was dope. So today's guest is a very talented artist who helps produce his own music. He is an entrepreneur with multiple businesses, such as his brand Haus of Mélange. With these, you see these shades, baby?
Thank you.
Haus of Mélange. He brought me some too, Cuzns. They real cute. Yeah, so he's also the owner of Ross Grove Entertainment. He's also known as Malik the Job Plug because he gonna help you land a good resume and get you a good job. Malik Rashod in the building with your favorite cousin. Malik, what's going on?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for pulling up. You got so much going on, so I was definitely so excited to talk to you.
Thank you. I'm excited to let the people know what's going on.
Yes. So are you originally from the Carolinas?
I am. So I like to tell people that I'm just a 704 boy because I have lived all over the 704. I was born in Shelby. So the majority of my family lives out in Shelby. And then I started school, like elementary, middle school in Gastonia, so I have friends there. Then I ended up moving back to Shelby in high school. Then about 10th, 11th grade, I was kind of back and forth with my mom. My mom moved out here to Charlotte. So kind of all over the 704.
Okay. Shelby, Gastonia, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Which one you like the most outside of the big city?
People love to ask me that. It's hard to choose because, my family is in Shelby. I have friends in Gastonia. Then I have friends like that once I got older, that were here in Charlotte. I'm going to have to say the Shell Town's going down.
Shelby?
I'm going to have to say Shelby.
So when we go to Shelby, what we pulling up to get some food at?
We're going to Tasty Tea to get us a cheeseburger basket. We're going to go to, where else can we go?
Wait, what's in the cheeseburger basket?
They got bacon cheeseburger basket. So it's just a regular bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, okay.
That was bacon cheeseburger.
With some fries?
Mm-hmm, with some fries, and you got to get that lemonade.
Lemonade here.
Mm-hmm. You got to get the lemonade. I love Tasty Tea.
Okay, summer coming back up. What's your favorite place? No, I ain't even going to say your favorite place. Any cousins that's watching, they about to come to Charlotte. They about to chill for the summer, hang out.
Okay.
Where would you suggest them go to?
Somewhere that I have never been that I recently went last week for my pre-birthday celebration. It's literally right around the corner. I went to Stats for the first time. I had never been. And
I love Stats.
They done remodeled in there, y'all.
Looks so nice.
I heard it was the trap at first, but now they done remodeled. It's really nice in there. It was like an R&B night. It was pretty chill. The food is really good. I would go just for the wings, the food, the pasta alone.
Yeah.
So Stats is pretty dope. My favorite restaurant just to eat, period. I love Stir in Charlotte. It's uptown, near the South End. I love that place.
What they sell over there?
They got seafood. They have, if you like oysters, I love a good charboiled oyster set situation. Where else would I take people? If you want a little chill spot, Red at 24, that's pretty chill. I love
Red
Red's.
24? Oh, yeah. I ain't been there in a while. They still over there?
Yeah, they still over there. Mm-hmm.
I used to like their poetry nights.
And their wings are really good, too. Their wings are really, really good. Where else would I? There's so many places in Charlotte. There's so many new places. I feel like the city's always growing.
Okay. So you grew up in the country, and then you moved to the city, like growing up for you, Malik Rashod, like take us there. What was it like growing up for you as a kid?
Going to church every Sunday.
I kind of figured that because your voice.
Going to church every Sunday. Multiple services. We go to church in the morning. We go to church in the afternoon, in the evening, in the night. I was just, a little regular church boy, little choir boy when I was growing up in Shelby, going to revivals when everybody else going to
Going
the
on
parties.
Halloween.
Yeah. To trunk or treat and all that.
Yeah, we had Hallelujah night.
Yeah.
On Halloween.
That's what we did. Outside of that, Shelby's a real southern area, so it's not really much to do besides go to Walmart. There's no shade. The fair may come around every year. You'll go to the fair. It's so crazy because the black rodeo has become a real big thing. And it used to not be popping like that. Like nobody used to be out there, but now you go, you barely can move around. But that has always been a thing in Shelby.
Do you know how to line dance?
No. I'm one of the ones that I didn't learn. I'm not really that coordinated.
Yeah.
I'm working on that. I'm not bad. I got some rhythm now. I'm black. Very black.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Tamia line out. No, I can't.
Electric slide, you got that.
Got you.
We got the basics. Cha-cha slide.
Yeah. But all that other stuff, the click under the fan, it's too much movement and all
Right,
that.
when I'm supposed to click. I like them though, they cute.
I do like to see people do it, but I myself, I have not taken a turn to learn. Outside of that in Shelby, it's all about football in Shelby for some reason.
Really?
Football Friday night is like the place to be. Like people go with their high heel shoes on to go watch Friday Night Football.
It be like at the little lounges or bars?
No, at the high school football game.
What?
Yes, at Shelby High, Shelby High and the Crest game, that's like the game of the century. Everybody gonna be there. That's the biggest game. That's our rival. I went to Shelby High School, so Crest is our rival, which is out in Boiling Springs, a little small city outside of Shelby. So it's really not a lot to do in Shelby, but I think being involved in church and being involved in a lot of extracurricular activities in school, I was always involved in something, whether it was musicals in the school or chorus or being band manager, just because I wanted to be close to some music or whatever, or singing in church. That's what have always kept me active.
Was you the choir lead?
I wasn't the lead. But I probably had a few solos back in the
Right,
day.
let me help y'all direct this a little bit.
Right, it's crazy because I go back to my church now and I'll be like, ooh, come on, let me get my hands on y'all. I love y'all, but let me get my hands on y'all. But I'm going to say that for about 55. That's going to be my commitment at 55 years old.
Okay, go on and get the choir right.
Yeah. I got time to get my life right first before I get up there.
Right. So you just celebrated your 30th birthday in DR. Like, what was that like for you? How was the experience?
It was really good. I really needed that trip. I feel like I hadn't been on a vacation out of the country in a long time. I usually make it a thing for every year that I have a birthday that I go out of the country. I've been to Jamaica for my birthday before. Celebrating friends' birthdays out of the country. I just try to make that a thing. And so last year I went to Orlando. It was the 29th.
I'm from Orlando.
Really?
Yeah, I've been here for 8 years.
Really? I did not know that. But I went to Orlando. We went to what is it called? Epcot? That was pretty dope. So I was like, this year I gotta get out the country, but I want to do something very cheap, not too expensive, and DR just was the place to go. It was really nice. That was probably the first time that I went out of the country where I liked all the food. Everywhere else, I don't be liking the food. I bring my own snacks.
What was their prices like over there? Because Puerto Rico pretty cheap.
Cheap. I was surprised how cheap it was. I was like, gosh, I'm going to start making this a bi-quarterly trip.
Right.
You can fly right out of Raleigh, $300 ticket. Leave on a Wednesday, come back on a Saturday, or you can do a Saturday to Saturday, Wednesday to Wednesday. Very cheap. I probably paid maybe $800-900 for my room.
How long was your flight?
3 hours. It's not bad at all. I took a Benadryl. I woke up. I was there, ready to party. It was pretty good.
Okay, so did you know at a child, when you was in a choir and stuff, did you know when I become an adult, I'm gonna really be an artist and take this serious?
No, and it's so crazy you say that because I often tell people I don't aspire to be famous. I don't aspire to be an entertainer. I mean, if Jay-Z came here right now and signed me to Rock Nation. Now I'm gonna sign and quit my full-time job, but it's not like my end all. You know, I hear so many people, and I look up to those people who say, you know, this is it for me. I have to sing, or it's nothing else for me. I'm a person where I've just always had my hand in so many different pots. Like I love fashion, I love working in human resources. I've been doing that now for a couple of years, hence why I have Malik the Job Plug. So I always just like having my hands in so many different pots that's just not a huge priority to me, but I do enjoy the leisure of being able to express myself and being a creative. I'm a Pisces, so water signs, we're very creative people. So being that I grew up singing, and singing is all I know, and everyone in my family plays an instrument or they sing, I got out of college. I went to college on a singing scholarship, by the way. And I was in a university choir. And so since then, I felt like, oh my gosh, like, I used to dedicate all my time to singing and like I need to get back to it. But making music was something that I didn't think about as a young child. It wasn't until like probably my sophomore, junior year of college. I saw so many people around me who were on scholarship just like I was for the university choir at Winston-Salem State. They were making their own music, making videos, going out auditioning for Sunday's Best and The Voice. So many people that were just really within my grasp.
You made a post about that. You was like, a lot of people I know have went on to do, and you said all the stuff you said.
I saw that, and I was like, every time I would see somebody put out a song, I'd be like, I can do that. I know I can do that. Like, so I think seeing them do it, I was like, wow, I want to do that one day. And so I set a goal around 2016. I was like, I'm gonna make an album. And originally my plan was to just make an album. I didn't want to do any singles. I still don't really want to do singles. I just wanted to put out a body of work for people to enjoy. But being famous, I mean, it's not like my goal. It's not my end goal because I have so many different passions for everything, but I will be open to it. I'm not telling Columbia Records, don't sign me. I ain't gonna tell them don't sign me now. If they want to come sign me, please take me out my full time. But I love my full time.
Well, that's good that you love your job because you gotta love your job.
I love it. I think it sounds so weird to say, but I'm probably one of those 9-to-5ers where I love having a 9-to-5, y'all. I love my benefits. I can go to the hospital if I need to. I can go to the doctors. I can get my teeth done. Save some retirement. I love it. I mean, and I have a very flexible job as well that allows me to do multiple things where I can work at home and I'm writing a song while I'm terminating somebody on the job. So I love it.
Did you go to school for that? Like, what did you, when you was going to school, what you wanted to do after school?
So I went to Winston-Salem State University. Shout out to the Rams.
Shout out to the Rams.
I went there and graduated in 2017 with my bachelor's in political science, a concentration in public administration personnel. And so that is very HR related as far as the concentration, but usually within the public sector or government affiliated jobs. Then about a couple of years later, I decided to go back. I graduated again and went back for my MBA. And I started interning in HR, but I always pretty much knew that if I didn't go to law school, I was gonna do HR. And I feel like once my senior year came of undergrad, I had a friend that was, she was in law school. And I remember her telling me, yeah, you know, you can't work your first year of law school. I'm like, what? I've always had a job. How am I gonna pay these bills? And so when she told me that, it was all she wrote. I was like, I'm not going to law school. I got to work.
Because they want you to be fully focused on school.
I was like, that's not an option for me. I don't got parents who going to fully furnish my apartment and do all that. I have to work. I can't live off no refund. I got too many bills. So from there, I started to look into HR internships. But it was something I always kind of knew in the back of my mind. My aunt is a VP of HR. She worked for Wells Fargo right down the road over here. So I always kind of like had it in my back pocket. Like, okay, if law school don't work out, I'm going to do HR.
Okay. So you went to school, you got into the university choir, you started thinking about, you know, taking it more seriously. What did you do at that point that you wasn't doing before when you was like, I'm about to take it serious? What did you start doing to get you where you at now?
I'm going to tell you, honestly, nothing has changed.
Nothing?
That sounds crazy, but nothing has changed. I would say the only thing that happened to me was that I was just make connections with the right people. I was always meeting people and, you know, trying to figure out different sound engineers to work with. But a lot of times, you know, you have people that will sell you a promise and you get in the studio, you record, you're like, wait, is that me? Or is that the sound? Like, what's going on? So I feel like in the early days, it was so hard for me to start because I could not find people who could provide me a quality product. Some of it sound like you would never hear it on the radio. And having that musical ear, I was just like, I have over 40, 50 songs that I have never put out that I probably would never put out because the quality is just so horrible. So I guess it was a change. I guess the difference in now and then was, being in a room with people who actually know what they're doing. They're not just looking for a check. They're not just looking for a payout for you to pay them the $50 an hour for your session. They are actually passionate about what they're doing. They want to take the time to help you and to help the sound and to create the vision that I want to see.
Okay. Was it anything that they was, okay, the after effect was you ain't like how it sound, but while y'all was there, was it anything about the session that you didn't like versus now that you're dealing with more professional people, they different?
Yeah, I think, being an openly gay male, for one, and I feel like a lot of times women probably can relate, but, you going into studio sessions, it's niggas, they smoking, they got the girls, and it's very male dominated. And so I spent a lot of time with people telling me how I should sing. You need to sing it like Chris Brown. You need to sing it like this or whatever. And so now I feel like I'm in a space where I have people who trust my vision and trust my gift and want me to be just me. And I think that 316, my album, is definitely a big reflection of that. I probably would have never sung some songs like that back then, for sure.
So that tied to one of the songs we gonna go over and help me understand these lyrics, because you was like basically saying that in the song.
I was. You caught that. You
Now
caught
I'm
that.
just putting two and two together like, oh, okay, that's what that was. Okay, we're gonna talk about it though, cuz in a little while. So first performance, where was it at? What was the experience like?
My first performance, like in front of a crowd?
Outside of the church.
That's the only one I can remember. I'm sold out for Christ. That's the only one I can remember. My first performance was at church. I sang a song called "The Storm Is Over Now" by Kirk Franklin. It was a duet with this girl named Sierra Boykins. Yes,
I love
Where
that
is
album.
Sierra Boykins? I wonder where she is. She's from Shelby. I sang that song with her.
Okay.
But that was my first time ever singing in a crowd, and people were like shocked. As far as out of church, I'm trying to think, because I was one of them kids in choir where I knew I could sing, but I was only comfortable singing in the church. I was like scared to sing in front of my peers. I think maybe my senior year, I sung This Christmas at our, we had like a Christmas kind of play or something that we did. I sung This Christmas in front of the student body. So that might have been the first time in front of them, I think. I remember like in middle school, even in chorus, I had a chorus teacher, Casey Vest, I'll never forget her. She always wanted me to audition for songs. And we were doing that, it's a play called Rent, the 525,000, 600-minute song. I don't know if you know that. But it's a song that, from a play basically, and she always wanted me to audition for songs, and I never would. I think I was scared to sing in front of people, like to
Did
show
you
my
have
craft.
anxiety when you first started performing in front of your peers?
I think it just had to do with, being gay, and when you are in the arts and it's often affiliated with feminism, and so I think I was just downplaying myself on that instead of just being who I was at the time, and that's why I felt more comfortable in the church to do it, because I could just freely be me and serve God. But my chorus teacher, Casey Vest, I'll never forget her until I die. I did not audition for the song she wanted me to audition for, and she told me one day, and this forever sticks with me, she was like, if you don't use your gift, God will take it away. And I was telling you earlier about the bronchitis situation last year. I kind of felt like, wait, because I was struggling to sing LOVEVALOUR. I was struggling to sing some of those songs, and it's also because I hadn't sung
Did
in so
that thought
long.
come to your mind
It
when she
did.
told you that?
It did. It definitely did. I think about that all the time. So I feel like I have to use my gift. Even if I get 0 streams, I don't really care if nobody listens to it.
Right,
As long
it's
as
not
I
about
get it
that.
out of my system,
Right.
as long as I have a way of expression, creativity. That's what's wrong with a lot of people. They gotta get, like, y'all gotta get off track with the numbers and the popularity and the looks and all of that, the glitz and the glam. As long as you're doing something to freely express yourself and to get it out, that's all that really matters.
Yep, right. because God could bless you in so many other areas. Like you could just do this because you like doing this, but I'm getting money over here doing
Exactly.
this.
Exactly.
Okay. So with everything that you know now as an artist, if it's any cousins out there watching and they like, you know what, I'm about to go on and get into this music thing, start taking it serious, what advice would you give that cousin?
I think you should go to the studio, number one, and just sing a bunch of different songs because you got to learn your voice, you got to learn your sound. Something I struggled with was I thought I wanted to be like I thought I wanted to be like a Bryson Tiller. I thought I wanted to do like trap and B, like a Seven Streeter. And that's just not really my sound. It's really not. So I would always suggest to, sing some different genres, sing different style of music to sort of learn where you blossom in.
Right.
Work with a lot of different folks. Don't just, set yourself to the first person you ever work with, because you don't know if that first person, as far as sound engineering, is your person to be. So try to get yourself out there and work with some different folks, because you'll sort of see as you work with different people. Oh, I like how I sound when I'm with this person, or I like what this person gives me. Different people have different kind of styles and how they mix and master their tracks. So if you explore that, you'll sort of see, who your person is. Like everybody knows in the industry, Beyonce, her person is the Dream. She likes to use the Dream. So just
I ain't never know that, and I love Beyonce.
if you look at all of her, go to her credits. The Dream, Mix and Master. That's him.
Oh, okay.
That's him. So find your mix and master person, and don't lock in with the first one. I will also say a lot of people talk about writing your own music. I do think that that's important. But if you cannot write, I always tell people just be able to perform it. So if you need to get writers to come in, be able to perform it. But also sit with your writers and let them know the stories you're trying to portray. Because if you're talking about something you can't relate to, it's going to show up in the studio when you get up in there. I always tell people too, don't try to mock anybody. Beyonce's Beyonce's, Future is Future. Be who you are. Now, there's a difference in being inspired by, artists, because I'm inspired by a lot of different artists, but I would say stay true to who you are, stay true to your sound, get to know your sound, explore it.
What's up with the artists you're inspired by?
Oh my God, I'll be here all day telling you all these people.
Top 3.
Top 3? That makes it harder. I really, really love Shaka Khan. I love her. Beyonce.
You like Anita Baker?
More of a Tony fan.
Tony Braxton?
More of a Tony fan.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Luther for number 3 though.
Luther. Okay, Luther. I love me some Luther. Now, my mom used to love Luther.
I'm an old spirit.
So, a few minutes ago, you was talking about telling them like to try different genres. What different genres have you tried, and which one was your favorite?
Well, this is probably the most diverse music I've worked with. Trying to do dance house music, it was very, very different for me.
Yeah, because you do got a house logo there.
Yeah, I did. This album is very poppy. It's very popish. Versus LOVEVALOUR, which I released last fall, which is really R&B. So I've tried pop, I've done a little gospel. I try to not stick to gospel because I don't want people to put me in that lane. I am an R&B pop artist. But I've tried pop. I've even tried to spit a little bit.
For real?
Yeah, just a little bit. Not like the really rapping, but like the talking rapping.
Yeah.
Like think of Ape Shit by Beyonce, that kind of stuff. I've tried different things, but I think my lane really is R&B. That's my foundation. R&B has elements of gospel, so it only makes sense for me.
What do you love most about being an artist?
Probably the creativity, like going into creating your concepts of like, okay, well, what is this album gonna be about? What do I want to sing about? Thinking even deeper about your visuals. What do you want that to look like? What do I want to dress? Like, For me, with Love Velour, I was like, well, I want to wear suits. I want to wear look like 19s, 20s type of vibe. And then for 316, I was like, it's my birthday. I'm born there in St. Patrick's Day. We're going to do green. That kind of stuff matters. I think about Rihanna oftentimes, where every album she had a different hairstyle. That is how you attract people to your brand, I feel like. I'm very big on fashion too, so I think that's the fun part. The writing is really fun. I like collaborating with people as well. If they are good artists and they have great music, that's no shade to nobody. I don't like people writing my songs though. I have figured that part out. I don't like really people writing my songs. I think a lot of times writers, or some people who are writers, they write for their voice and they don't think about the artist's voice in mind when they're writing a song. So even if you can relate to the message, it's like you still gotta be able to sing the actual song. So I prefer to write my songs, and on 316 I wrote like 99% of everything. There's only one small line in my last song, Into My Own, that I did not write, which is the chorus. Other than that, I pretty much wrote everything.
Okay. Yeah, because I think your voice definitely has to stand out in your music. So with them writing like a song for you, I think that's cool, like you said, especially if you can't write. But I feel like when you're writing it yourself, even though you might could relate to another writer, you're gonna connect differently with this song because
personal.
it's you. Yeah,
it's more personal and relatable. You can relate to it.
Yeah, and the audience, we connect to that more. We can, like you said, we can tell.
You can
I'm gonna connect more if it's like, okay, this sounds like something they really went through. You know what I'm saying?
You can always tell when it's authentic. It comes out.
I think that's why Rod Wave got so popular, even though his music was sad, is because those were his true feelings.
Yeah, I do agree. He's a pretty dope artist.
Yeah.
I've been trying to move away from them sad love songs. I was really ready to get out of Love Velour. Cause them sad love songs, I'm like, you stay in there too long, you get all emotionally tired. You go back.
You do.
I'm like, I'm ready to move forward.
Child, you pull out that wine, you like that hookah, you like that blunt, and baby,
I was so ready to get through with Love Velour because I love those songs, but it was at a different period of my life, and singing those songs, I kind of had to relive it a little bit. So that's why I was in a rush to come out with an album. But you know what? It's so crazy. I've been listening to 316 since December. I'm like, I'm ready to get back in the studio. I want to sing some ratchet music. This is too pop. I'm ready to get back. I think that's the fun part, though, about music. It gets addicting, the more you put into it.
What would you say makes Malik Rashod stand out from any other artists?
If you ever notice in any of my songs, so first things first, I like to make my music relatable for everybody and for every dynamic. Whether you a hood nigga, whether you a female, woman, young lady, Gen Z, I like to make my music relatable. So if you ever notice in any of my songs, I never say boy or girl. Even though I'm a gay male, I never put a gender on who I'm talking about because I want everybody to be able to listen and pull something from it, whether it's your grandmama or your mama or whoever. So I think that definitely sets me apart, being able to tell stories and make it relatable for everybody. I think also too, I don't stick to one lane. I can go from different genres, and I think that's pretty fun. Normally, new artists don't do that. New artists often stick to singles as well. They, release a single, then they'll release another one. And I feel like I'm just more of a creative where I want people to get the big picture of what I'm trying to say, and I can't say that with just one single. So I'm always gonna be either an EP or you're gonna get an album. You might either get 2 songs, but you're gonna get something that's just more than that one single. So I think that definitely sets me apart, that I'm able to create auditorial, visual kind of moments for people when they listen, like a listening experience almost.
Yeah.
Hey Cuzns, it's your girl Goddess 7, and listen, this commercial break is actually sponsored by me. Y'all make sure y'all go to Amazon and get this manifestation journal, 369 21-day manifestation journal. I'm gonna help you manifest all of your dreams, everything that you're inspiring. I'm gonna help you get there. I'm gonna guide you in this journal. Make sure y'all go check out Amazon Prime. The link is in the description. Go get your journal.
Okay, so you help produce a lot of your music, like most of all the music on this album. I saw your name under the credits for the production part. When did you start getting into that part of your journey?
So I do executive production. Executive
Okay.
production is a little bit different from your producers or your beat makers. So I don't make beats, but being an executive producer, you're basically creating the concept of what it is. And in 316, there's a lot of different monologues and different things that I was able to add to kind of create the overall concept. Sound effects, different things that I was just able to add, and you become the executive producer. If you ever go back to Destiny's Child albums and you look in their credits, you know who's listed there as their executive producer?
Beyonce?
No, Matthew knows. Beyonce's daddy. Because he was creating those concepts for those songs.
Okay.
It might have been, let's sit down and talk about this song we're going to write about. So what y'all want to talk about? That's sort of producing what it's going to be. Or I really could have done that for Love Velour on like Lights On. There's some sound effects that I've added on there. Just different things to sort of create that moment or the mood you're looking for. So, yeah.
Okay. So you buy the Seeds Productions, like they go handle the beats, they go handle the engineer, and we go help with some direction.
Yeah, I have to, put my stank on it.
Yeah.
I gotta put my concept on it.
Okay. So do you record at home before you go to the studio, or you just go to the studio and do everything?
When I'm at home, I'll sit there and I'll write something, usually in my phone and my notes. And then for whatever reason, I'll go to my bathroom. I don't know why I go to my bathroom, but I'll sit in my bathroom and practice a song. And I'll play the instrumental, and I'll just sing it right there in my bathroom, standing up. I don't know why I do that. I really don't know, but it's just my safe place, I guess. And what's crazy is there's some songs where I can hear the background, but then there's some songs where I don't hear it till I get in the studio, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that needs to sound like right there. So yeah, I basically plan out like my verses, if I have a bridge, if I have a chorus, all of that, and the other stuff, like the backgrounds, that kind of comes when I get in there naturally, like what I hear based on the music.
How long do you normally have to stay in the studio, being that you kind of already work on it and prepare before you go to the studio?
About 2 hours, maybe 2.5. The fastest song I probably ever recorded was Pisces Rave on 316 album, but it was a fairly easy song. It's a pop song, so it was fairly easy. Most pop music is pretty simple. So depending on, the complexity of the song, like the backgrounds, the stacks, I'm really, really big on stacks. I'm inspired by people like Brandy and Mariah, who I love Summer Walker as well. She does a great job at stacking her vocals. I'm really big on that. So depending on the song, and what's all required background-wise, or even vocally for ad-libs and everything, or leads, that just depends on how long it'll take me. But if it's a simple song like Pisces Rave, I got in there and was like, okay, we done. Or Into My Own, the last song on my album, that was a very easy song. There was not many backgrounds. I sung that song just flat-footed.
For the cousins who don't understand, can you tell them what you mean when you say backgrounds?
Background, so that's your oohs and ahs. Like, you know how Dina Jones in the Dreams was at the front, and then you had Effie and the other girl in the back? Your background. They singing your background. So that's all your oohs and ahs. That's all your, the stuff you hear people repeating in the background. You might hear them say a phrase, and they might repeat certain parts of the phrase. Little stuff like that.
Okay. So you also work with producer Tremaine Breeze on this album. How did y'all meet? And what made you want to work with him? Because you pretty much worked with him like throughout the album.
Yeah, I met him through a friend. We were actually in choir together at WSSU. Her name is Musical Mystique.
Okay.
And her name is Rashana Washington, but she actually wrote Into My Own. She wrote the chorus part of Into My Own. That's the only part that I did not write. I had been reaching out to her because I saw that she was just releasing so much music. She has a lot of music out. And I was like, girl, who are you working with? Like, give me 3-4 people. And at this time, I was actually not even living in North Carolina. And this was like maybe 2022, 2021 or something like that.
When you moved back here?
I moved back here probably like April, May of 2022.
COVID time.
Yeah, I was living in California from 2020 to 2022. And so...
Why you went there? For music?
No, I had a job out there, HR job. They paid really good.
Why you love Cali?
I didn't love it. That's why
I
I
said,
moved
why
back.
you left?
I hated it. I really learned I'm a true Southern boy. They ain't had no liver mush out there. They ain't had no chitlins. They ain't had no... That place ain't for me. They eat like grass and vegetarian stuff. If you want to go and lose weight, I lost a lot of weight out there. Go for it. But it's no culture out there. I'm like really pro-black from the HBCU. This Southern black boy. I'm black and loud. Like
They ain't got that kind of community though.
no, it ain't. I mean, they have a black community, you know, but they're a little different out there. That's no shade to the West Coast. It's very superficial too. It just feels like Hollywood. Everybody's just in their Hollywood bag.
What part you lived in?
I lived in downtown Long Beach, and they always say that's not the most popping part, but I actually like downtown Long Beach because it was more chill. Now I did visit San Diego, and it was like way better. I was like, this is where I probably should have moved. But my bad thing was I moved to California thinking I was gonna get the Miami experience, and that was a lie. It's cold in California, y'all. They don't tell you that. Like it feel like that outside.
We
how it
can wear
feel-
our boots.
Yeah.
And our furs.
It's cold in California. Right now, it probably feels just like it do right now outside. And mind you, though, I did live near the ocean, so it's more breezy. But it's cold out there. You need a jacket. It ain't like Miami where it's hot. You wear flip-flops all the time. No, that's
Booty shorts all year
yeah,
round.
no, it's cold. I got bamboozled. But it was cool while I was out there, but I was ready to come home, back to the South.
Did you get to meet any new connections while you was there?
I just had time to go to work, and that was it. But that was, at that time, I was reaching out to Mashana Washington, and that's how I met Breeze. She sent me like 4 or 5 different people. I was like, I did go out there and work with some people out there, but it just wasn't.
It wasn't
I wasn't
given.
feeling the vibe. I wasn't feeling the vibe. They was on some Janae Aiko, just some like, I don't know. People trying to tell you how to sing the song and how to do it and da 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 da. I like
It was
to have,
real celebrity-ish.
yeah, I like to have my own creative freedom. I don't need you to tell me how to sing.
Right.
I don't need you to tell me how to sing the song or who to sound like, or especially if you're not a vocal producer. Okay, there's a lot of sound engineers think they're vocal producers, that they know what they're doing vocally, but it's like, no, that's not my voice, that's not my style. So I did try with a couple people out there, but it wasn't all that. They was looking for a check. They was looking for a payout.
And one putting in the work.
Yeah, but that's how I found Breeze. Breeze is actually my sound engineer. So he does all the recording, the mixing, the mastering. But what was fun about this 316 project was I actually had everything pre-mixed before I even got in the studio. And I was like, hey, this is my concept. Can you just copy this? So that's why you'll notice as well that I have some mixing credits.
Okay. Do you feel like you'll work with him on another album?
I will probably work with him on a few songs, absolutely. But I think we're both growing a whole lot. We both say that to each other. Like, the more we work together, the more we can see the growth in both of our artistry. But I do think it may be time for me to start exploring some other grounds. But I always will have him at least mix or at least master it, or involved in some kind of way. Even if it's I like go and record with somebody else, I'm gonna bring that back to Breeze. Like, Breeze, now what you think about that?
Yeah.
Is this what you think? So I always will make sure I keep him involved because he's really good.
Okay.
He's genuine.
Okay. So you're also the owner of Rose Grove Entertainment, which is a distinguished production management and entertainment company, which you established last year, July 2024. So can you talk to the Cuzns a little bit more about that business and let them know what you have going on?
Initially I had to establish it because I didn't know that when you put music out, you gotta have an LLC. I was like, wow, I gotta have my own business to distribute the music out. I didn't know that, but apparently I found it out. So I decided to create my own entertainment company, Ross Grove Entertainment. Ross Grove Road is where that name comes from. It's a house that I grew up in Shelby, my grandmother's house. She still lives in that house. And I decided to name it that because that is some of my first earliest experiences in music that I can recall. When I was in the first grade, my grandfather bought my grandma a keyboard for Valentine's Day, and she never played it. And so we would go to church, and I would hear the choir sing a song, and I would just go home and start playing it by ear. And before I knew it, I was like playing at church and stuff. So that was like some of my first early like remembrance of like music and really being involved in music, and family coming over singing. My grandma sung as well. Her brother sung. So I decided to name it Rosgrove Entertainment. Originally, I made it because, of course, I had to distribute my own music and everything, and I wanted to be able to have a tax write-off for all of these.
So what about the Cuzns who, because some people I interviewed, they don't got no LLC.
Well, they're doing it the wrong way.
What are the benefits of them registering their music under a LLC versus just me registering it?
Yeah, you need to register your music under an LLC because everything that you put into your music, you need to file on your taxes. You need to file on your taxes. So if you're not doing that, you're technically not doing it the right way. And you can get, money back and stuff for doing that. You don't have to do it. I don't think you have to do it, but I'd rather do it because I have House of Mélange as well, which brings in quite a bit of revenue for a side business. So I'm like, this can just be my add-on. And it's advantages to doing that. So like when I buy office supplies and when I'm buying gas because I'm going to the studio, I'm putting that on my LLC.
Right.
To write that off.
Pay less taxes next year.
Yes. Be smart about it, folks. So that is the advantage to that. But like I said, I originally created Rosgrove just for myself because I wanted to distribute my music. And when I created it, I talked to my best friend, who actually inspired me to continue doing music. He was the first person I told, my friend Tremaine Moore, about wanting to do my own album. And originally we had this plan that we was gonna make a girl group. We was gonna find a girl group and we was gonna manage them. And then we had another plan that we was gonna find a boy group, 2 boys, and we was gonna be in the boy group. And this was way
So
back.
he could sing too.
He can't sing, but he can dance. he can hold a tone a little bit, but he can mainly dance.
Yeah.
So he was gonna be the dancer. I was gonna be the singer because you need a singer. And we was gonna find like a white boy. We was gonna find a little Hispanic boy. We was gonna be like the male version of Danny Kane.
Okay.
That was the vision.
Okay.
So I ended up, of course, that never happened. We were like in college thinking about doing that or whatever. But when I created Rosgrove, I wanted to bring him in as like creative director, and so I'm hoping that now that I have this LLC that I can invest it into other people, the people who do want to do this like full time, and front end them the money for studio time. I actually had a chance to work with an investor who pays half of my price for my studio time and for different costs that I have, and so I'm like, I think I want to kind of put in on that and see what I can get out of it and develop some artists. Having experience in music, I feel like I have a lot to offer, whether it's, stage presence or writing your own music. Just different things that I feel like I could definitely contribute to new up-and-coming artists. So I would love to find some new people who, want to sing and get out there.
Now, what's some of the qualities they got to possess, Cuzn?
What's some of the qualities they have to possess to
like
be signed?
Work ethic.
There's also, you can go on the website and sign up if you want to be an artist. We are scouting. I really do want to do that. I want to find somebody who, and not like me, somebody who like do this part-time. I want to find somebody who like, no, I want to sing. Because if I can get you out there, then I can quit my job too. We all can make it.
Right.
But qualities to make it, you got to be able to sing, or if you're a rapper, you got to be able to rap. I prefer the cream of the crop. I prefer a writer if you can write your own stuff. But it's not required, but it will help if you can write your own stuff.
It'll push you to the top.
I need somebody diverse. I need you to be like a Beyonce. Sing me a country song. Now sing me a gospel song. Now sing me an R&B song.
And pop.
Yeah, now sing me a pop song. I need you to be diverse. You need to be able to cross over into different things. Even if you're a rapper, we have so many rappers now that are crossing over into pop and in different genres. You see Megan Thee Stallion working with all these different artists and stuff. I need folks like that who can, bend themselves into different areas. Because the more you do that, the more lucrative you can be. If you're in different demographics, if you're hitting different demographics and crossing over. So I would say those are probably the main things.
Okay.
I mean, if you a baddie, that's great as well.
Right.
I mean, if you got the looks and the body and all that, because people do like all of that, but the talent for me always speaks for itself. Yeah.
Okay. So the website says a distinguished production management and entertainment company. What would you say makes Ross Grove distinguished in the entertainment industry?
I would say because I am more so focused on, I think I spoke about this earlier, you have so many artists who are just committing themselves to singles, and rightfully so, that is the easy way to go if you're trying to find your voice, is just to work on singles. But if you're a real artist and you're really serious about your artistry and you want to be a visionary artist, you want to create those experiences that we talked about, I think it goes more deeper into putting more into your craft and not just, I won't say half-assing, but, just putting more into it visually and the thought of it and what the album cover looks like, and just putting more into it, making it more of a prestigious kind of like a moment that people will remember.
Okay. So, House of Mélange, you established that in October 20th, 2023. The name. I love the name. How did you come up with the name? What made you name it that?
Again, I'm always looking for like ways to make everybody feel involved. Very inclusive. And so I just started Googling names that were like a mixture of different things that mean like a whole lot of different things. And so I looked up French names because my last name is French. In North Carolina, we say Gaston, but in France, they say Gaston.
Okay, Gaston, okay.
And so I started just looking up different names, and I came across Mélange. And at first, this was actually a styling company that I had where I used to style folks fresh out of college a couple years ago, around 2018, 19, 20. It was Malik Rashod and Mélange Styling. And at the time, Mélange wasn't really even like in a lot of spaces as far as like definitions or like dictionaries or whatever, because I would Google it and it would say a mixture of fruit. But now if you Google Mélange, it'll say a mixture of elements. So I wanted to use that because I always felt like it could mean I could do anything. And as I'm doing with House of Mélange, I'm doing glasses. I'm gonna do some socks coming out. I'm gonna do underwear, shirts, hoodies. But yeah, that's how I pretty much found that name. I always say if I have a daughter, which I want a daughter, I'm gonna name her Mélange. Isn't that so pretty?
Yes, that's a cute name.
I know that's so pretty, Malik Mélange.
Definitely stands out. So after you thought about, okay, I want to go ahead and start House of Mélange, after that thought came in your head, how long did it take you to actually put your plan in place?
It happened really fast, and I remember when that thought came in my head. I remember when the thought came in my head that I was going to do House of Mélange, and that I was going to go back and finish my goal with finishing my music. And I was here in Charlotte in August, I believe, at that Beyonce Renaissance tour. And at the end of the tour, she tells everybody, that she hopes that everybody feels that they had a chance to be seen and heard. And of course, she's talking about the LGBT, because Renaissance is very, based on the historical context of house and dance music, which stems from the LGBT culture. So I would think it was at that moment I was like, wow, this is the first, and I told my cousin when we left, I said, that's the first time I've ever been somewhere as a gay man that I feel like I could, if I wanted to put on a wig out here, I could.
Right.
Now, I wouldn't do that because that's just not my stilo. But if I wanted to, if somebody wanted to, I feel like that would have been the most comfortable environment for somebody to be in.
And people gonna still love you like, oh, you just pulled that wig out. That's cute. Like,
now, that's not my thing. Now, to the boys and the girls who like the wigs, set yourself off. I love it for you. But if I wanted to, I told my cousin I feel that would have been the most comfortable place to do that. And I knew at that moment, by the end of that show, I was like, I'm going to work on House of Mélange. At the time as well, early that year, I was also trying to fit myself in spaces or sit at tables that I wasn't really welcomed at. And it really wear and tear on me, like so bad, like that I just wasn't being invited in some of these spaces that I am overqualified for. It really hurt me, and I knew that, or I felt as though it was because of, you know, my sexuality and who I am. Despite being overqualified, being the most qualified in the room. So when I heard Beyonce say that at the end of that Renaissance tour, she was like, I hope you all feel seen and heard. I hope you feel love. I was like, I'm going to finish my music, but before I finish my music, I'm gonna start House of Mélange. I should have done this a long time ago. I was like, that's gonna be more easier for me. It's less emotionally involved versus music. I'm really hard on myself with music because once you put it out there, it's out there. I can go on the website right now and take everything down, but their music, you can take it down, but once people done heard it, I mean, it's pretty much out there. It's out there. That kind of happened with me with 316, because I released it and I hated the version, so I had it remastered. I took it down.
Yeah, I seen that too.
I
I'm
did.
gonna ask you about that later. I got that down. But Beyonce out here aspiring the Cuzns now. We love
did.
us a good B now.
She did. I said, I'm gonna work on this. She done got me together on that stage for 3 hours, changing all them outfits. I'm like, wow, this is the hardest working woman. And I'm a big Beyonce fan, by the way. This is the hardest working woman in the industry. Like, if she can do that and have 50 11 children and 50 11 businesses, I think I can too.
Yep. And deal with a husband. She married. That's another job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you recently sold out of all of your, well, not all of them, but you have sold out of a lot of products. For the Cuzns that's looking, when you get ready to restock, when your restock come, what are some of the items they can look forward to seeing?
I want to do some socks. I want to do underwear, panties, bra sets for girls. The summer's coming up, so I am thinking
What
about
kind of
doing-
socks is gonna be? Because them tube socks cute right now. Now we loving the tube socks with the charms.
I think I just want the ankles with my little symbol on it. Just something
Oh,
simple.
simple. Okay.
Melange is very chic, simple. It's not a whole lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
It took a lot for me to do these white ones because the black glasses were the original pair. But I like to just keep it really simple. I feel like that becomes my style the older I get. I used to wear a lot of patterns, a lot of different stuff, but the older I get, I'm like, I just want to...
And that can go to both
know.
sexes, like you said.
Yes, everybody can wear it. Get you a hoodie, get you a pair of glasses. It's an inclusive environment. So yeah, I really want to do some swimwear, but I'm like, summer's coming up too quick. I might not be able to do that.
Yeah.
I might not be able to do
Yeah,
that.
you probably had to do that like in wintertime.
But I will have some more sunglasses coming out.
What about the trucker hats? Are you gonna bring those back?
I don't think I'm gonna bring those back. It took so long to sell them out. I mean, they eventually sold out. Everything actually did eventually sell out. The glasses that I do have are glasses that I'm keeping from my family that I gave to you. But everything has sold out and really quickly.
What would you say is your top selling item?
The black sunglasses. Everyone loves those black sunglasses. They probably sold out in like 3 days. So I have some more of those coming in.
I can't wait to wear mine's Cuzns. Y'all gonna see them. They real cute.
I love them. They go with everything. And it really does have a good shade tint to it. And I love it.
How many products did you start out with, like when you first started?
Oh my gosh. So I did a soft launch, and in my soft launch I had like a couple of t-shirt designs, like maybe 2 or 3, long sleeve. I had some crew necks, I had some hoodies. I started out, it was supposed to be a soft launch, but it was really big, and it was a lot. That was my first time ever like having a package and do all that stuff on my own. I think because I'm getting so busy now with like music and even my resume building service, Malik, the job plug, I can't even use Cash App no more on that because I gotta get an LSC for that now. So I think because I'm getting so busy with everything else, I'm gonna start drop shipping the items so that they can just ship them out to everybody and it can be a little bit more easier on me. But I started out with a lot of items when I first started out. But now I do want to not have, House of Mélange is not gonna be something where it drops every spring, summer, fall. Like it's gonna be very much like an Ivy Park situation. You're gonna get it every other season or every other quarter.
Yeah.
Because once it goes up, it sells out really fast. I mean, I've made $4,000 from these glasses just last month. I've paid my rent 3 times.
Okay.
So
look,
yeah.
Cousin, if you had to like start over again, would you still start off with a variety of items, or would you just have like a few items that you just focus on?
I would start out with a variety of items because that's how you're gonna know what your best seller is. And the more you have, the more items you have, the more you'll know like, okay, what people really gravitate towards. So I think I want to try bags. I think people might like bags.
Ooh,
Crossbodies and different stuff
cute
like
melange
that.
bag.
Yeah, just like maybe even like a little duffel gym bag. I have some duffel bags that I'm like, oh, should I put them out? They're kind of big and bulky. I don't know, but I say
Yeah,
start out
because it's
with
traveling time.
yeah. I say start out with a whole lot of different items so you can see which one sells out. And I knew my shades were gonna be the one to sell out because it sold out in a day as soon as I released it when it first dropped.
How long was you marketing it for before you released it?
So I marketed House of Mélange. House of Mélange was released in December 2023. So I think I started marketing in like October. I didn't want to start marketing and I didn't have no materials to like showcase.
Yeah.
Because you could easily like, do like pictures and stuff, but I wanted people to actually see the product. So it took a little bit of time for me to get everything customized and made. So once I got that all in, I just started. That was like 2 months before the drop. Same with my album. I'm not really. You get on social media sometimes. You can tell people like they're looking for money. I just feel like that's so like not organic. I don't want people to feel like, okay, he's been a capitalist.
Yeah.
Beyonce, hello, keep releasing stuff, but we keep buying it. So I mean, I just. When I feel like it, to be honest, I don't have no like set. Okay, I gotta release this on so I have to promote this. So I'm not really big on that because I don't have time. I got a full-time
your
job.
hand tied into a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, I don't have time. So it's just like when I set the time to do what I'm gonna do, I just go ahead and do it. Let it be. If it don't sell, it don't sell. Try again.
Right.
Give it out to folks for Christmas.
So what about for the Cuzns that's looking to start their own brand and to sell items? What advice would you give those Cuzns as far as finding vendors?
Well, if you want to go the easy route, I mean, everybody's using the Alibaba. What is it called? Alibaba? But a lot of folks are using that. But the only thing about that is, everybody has access to that. So somewhere in the world, somebody's going to have some of the same or similar like products as yours. If you have the money, it's great to invest in the States. That way you can actually go and see your product in person. When I did my shirts, I went to see my product in person. Like, no, that's not how the print need to be. Versus, you over the FaceTime.
Was it here?
Oh,
okay.
Yep. There's a guy, he actually works at the North Lake Mall. He's a white guy with a ponytail. He do t-shirts there, but he has his own business as well.
Okay.
And then I actually have a cousin as well who does t-shirts and apparels. So I worked with them. Now some stuff I did have shipped overseas, like in the Middle East. I find that it's very much cheaper to find suppliers in the Middle East. That's Pakistan, India versus China. It's like way more cheaper.
Now China might be real high right now.
Yeah, and the quality is way better in the Middle East than it is in China.
Okay.
It's way better. I got some joggers now I can't wait to put out. Thick quality. I'm like, I gotta save these for like sometime in the
fall
when they get cold because it's good quality, but it's pretty thick though. So yeah, I say if you are trying to be budget friendly, go to Alibaba route. I mean, you got to start somewhere and then build your way up to maybe working with suppliers that are in state. That way you can customize your pieces more and have more access to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a full-time job, so I use that money to invest in my businesses, and then once they blossom off, then I can use the money from the businesses. But a lot of people don't have that option. So if you don't, go to cheap route. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You get yourself off.
Right. That's why they call you Malik the job plug.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do to get to where you're going.
How long you been helping the Cuzns get jobs?
I've been doing that actually since I was in California. I had a job there that I didn't like because I didn't like California. And so I didn't really have a lot to do. So I was like, oh, I'm going to start this resume building service because I started to notice a lot of my friends and family be like, can you do my resume? And I'm like, okay, sure. And I just had all this time at work to like do people's resumes. So I was like, you know what, I'm I'm gonna do a resume building service. I'll do their cover letters. If they want to do mock interviews with me, I'll get them on the Teams chat, on the virtual chat. We can do some mock interviews. I'll style you. You don't know what to wear. Let's go to the mall.
Okay,
Let's go to
a whole
Target.
service.
Yeah, let's do it all. Even if you got a resume that maybe you want to keep that template.
They
you
ain't
just wanna
going to
add
Target
some
right
stuff.
now, cousin.
Oh yeah, I forgot they ain't going to Target. Dang.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Goddess 7, and this episode is sponsored by a couple different sponsors. So y'all already know I had to shout them all out. First of all, y'all, I gotta shout out Robinson Hustle 8, because guess what? They branding us over here. Y'all see these cute little glasses that I be drinking out of? Hold on, let me take a sip. Y'all see this? Y'all see this right here? Y'all see this cute little liquor ice bucket, whatever you want to call it? They made all of that. So if you're looking for some custom shit, make sure y'all go shop with Robinson Hustle 8. They customize all your needs. I can't forget about Q3 Designs and Things. They're also a sponsor of Cuzns Tea Podcast, and they're a branding company for us. They made us these cute little shirts, y'all. Y'all like this shit? Y'all see this? Look, you need some custom shit for your business, go shop with Q3 Designs and Things, because they're going to get y'all right. They're going to get y'all everything that y'all need. I also cannot forget about Gemini Hookah, because they keep me smoking good on every motherfucking episode, y'all. Y'all see this hookah? They sponsored that for us. They did some other sponsorship, but most importantly, y'all, they got them hookahs, and y'all know I love hookahs. Look, y'all, hold on. See that cloud? See how that smoke just come out real thick, real cute or whatever? You could be smoking like that too, y'all. Go shop with Gemini Hookah. They got these ice packs. They got these portable hookah tips. You can take this thing anywhere with you. And they got hookah candles, y'all. They got different shisha flavors. They can make you anything you want. So make sure y'all go shop with Gemini Hookah, y'all. Go get y'all hookah. Until next time, cousins. Bye.
Yeah, I forgot the folks ain't going to Target.
Yeah, Target got that good in that house stuff. Target got some shit. They got good food. Like,
They need to bring back the diversity.
come on, Target, so we can come back on over there now.
But yeah, we can go shopping. We can find your outfit. I also do this service where it's a weekly subscription. And it's so crazy because I started my prices out very, very cheap because I didn't expect people to like want to be interested in doing it. And I just really like to help people. I just recently had to up my prices after doing this for a couple years. But I have a subscription service that was like $25, now it's $50 because it's taking me more time to do it and everybody wants to do it. But basically, I'll send you like over 100 jobs. You tell me exactly what kind of job you're looking for, what area, what's your pay, and I'm gonna send you a document. And
Cousin, you done turned into Indeed out here.
basically, in that document, it's gonna have a job title on there. It's gonna have the pay, location, and it's gonna have that link for you to just click there and apply for the job. That easy.
Okay. So from an HR perspective, when it comes to like finding a job, right? Y'all both got the same qualities. From an HR perspective, what is going to make you choose one candidate over the other if they both have great qualities? What's some things that they can do to make them stand out with someone that y'all got the same qualities, but doing this is going to make you stand out a little more on your resume?
A lot of people miss the people skills factor. They don't know how to maybe communicate, hold conversations. Are you looking at me in the eye when I'm talking? Are you fun to talk to, or are you just boring? Am I ready to end this interview right now? Do you have some personality? Would you be fun to work with? Can I see you in this environment working with this person? If you're going to be reporting to a manager, can I see you working with that manager? Do y'all have like similar personalities? Those kind of things help you stand out. So I always tell people, be yourself in the interview. Don't go in there, now you want to put on your voice, but you also want to, be yourself, like have fun. A lot of work environments now are very chill. People wearing jeans in the office.
Right.
It's a different time than it was in the 90s where we had to go to work and folks was in suits and business ties and all that. It's a very chilled environment with the millennials. The young and older millennials. So I say have a personality and be able to have some people skills.
Yeah.
Be able to get along with people.
What about the resume part? What's one thing that'll make their resume stand out from somebody that has the same qualifications?
One thing that'll make your resume stand out from someone that has the same qualifications. I would say the organization of the resume. You know, just simple stuff like, I mean, if this job was way back in 1970, don't nobody care what happened in 1970. Come on now, you're gonna have to update your resume. We wanna know what happened in the last 10 years, have it in chronological order, all the simple things that everybody already knows you should be doing. And you also wanna be attentive to your formatting and the style of your resume. So what I mean by that is, if you want to be a teacher, you say you want to be working at a medical office, or you want to work in a government affiliated job, you need to have a traditional, simple format. You don't need to have all that modern kind of looking resumes, because that's not usually accepted in that field. Now, if you're going to sales, you're going to work in operations, you're going to work in marketing, you're going to work in fashion, then you want to have that nice modern resume to kind of set yourself apart. So those kind of things help, you know, being attentive to the field you're applying in and sort of submitting yourself to that.
Yeah, okay. So with the DIE thing going on right now, big thing, do you think that would have an effect on minorities when it comes to hiring processes? I ain't talking about just black people, I'm talking about all minorities, because it's a lot of us in that same group.
It absolutely will. And the sad part is a lot of people who are not of color, when they voted for Donald Trump, didn't realize that they too would be impacted. So you have veterans out here that will be out of a job or not have opportunities. You have people who are disabled, and people, they see disabled, they see that check mark for if you're disabled or not, and they think of the worst case scenario, like somebody who is like wheelchair bound or something, but that can be somebody who has mental issues, that can be somebody who has lupus, that can be somebody who has a plethora of different things that qualify you to be categorized as disabled. So I think a lot of people didn't think about that, and that's why a lot of these companies are now doing away with their diversity programs and their diversity initiatives. I've been telling all my friends who are in diversity jobs, like, you need to get out. You need to go into basic HR, because it's not promised if your company is not, you know, promoting that, because we have a president who is steering away from that, and he's taking away those benefits from people, so it's impacting everybody.
Yeah, sad, yeah. I see a lot of people moving towards like more of the entrepreneur journey, like, you know, since that has come, or even since last year when they was running from the elections, because they didn't know what way it was gonna go. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's sad because there's so many minorities that are overqualified for these positions,
and some of them are white.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
that don't mean you ain't a minority because you're white. In their eyes, you're considered minority.
Yeah. So you on those food stamps, you one of us, basically. You know, you don't meet a certain threshold as far as the income in your household. You below that poverty line, you are considered one of us, and it impacts them as well. So.
Okay, but you helping them get the jobs, cousins. So if they come to you, the cousins watching, they come to Malik, they want some assistance. Like, what's the price ranges? We know you got the $50 subscription, but for your other service, resume building, just helping them find it out. Like, what's your price ranges for the services?
Yeah, so if you want like cover letter, resume, that's gonna be like $80. If you want just a resume, that's $40. I accept half deposit up front, and you'll get your product back in 5 to 7 business days. If you want to expedite, send me extra $20 for 3 to 5 business days.
Okay. Expedited time.
Yeah. Yeah, I recently went up on my prices because I started to notice, like, I have a lot of stuff coming in, and like I noticed some competitors too who are very pricey. But that's one thing I don't like about us black people. Why our stuff be so high? You ever notice you go to a restaurant that's a black owned and it be way higher than the white restaurants?
And somebody they be like, because they getting their stuff at a cheaper price, but it's like.
Somebody once told me it's because as black people, we got to raise the price because we starting at the bottom of the totem pole versus white people. Somebody told me that.
But,
and I kind of see where they're coming from, because systematically we haven't had the advantage as the white man. So we kind of have to up the price, I guess, to meet them where they are, I guess. I don't know. I try not to be a capitalist. I really don't want to take advantage of people. If somebody came to me and was like, look, I just need your help, I probably would do it for free. Now, I shouldn't say that out loud, but I'm really generous. Like, I really don't do that for the money or even to like, you know, promote and stuff like that. I just do it because I like to help people. And most of the people that even reach out to me are folks on Facebook, folks from my hometown that know, oh, he works in HR. I also worked at Dole Foods for a long time in the HR department, which is huge company in Bessemer City, Gaston County area. So a lot of people know me for, you know, working in HR, and it's mostly local people, but I'm always willing to help somebody. You need help? You need a job, girl? Come see me.
He gonna get you right,
Come see me.
Cuzns. Okay, so last year, December 22nd, it was your dad's birthday. You made a post to him. You shared a screenshot, and he was just basically telling you how he gonna forever bump your music. He love it. You got him about to cry, about to be in tears. Like,
You did your research.
how did that make you feel, cousin?
That made me feel really, really good. You know, my dad was so interesting. A lot of people on my dad's side of the family can sing, but my daddy can't sing. But he loved music, and some of my most earliest remembrance to like music and mainly hip hop was with my daddy. Like listening to Jay-Z. I was in the choir with some friends, and people always know me for liking Beyonce. But what people don't know is I liked Jay-Z before I ever knew who Beyonce was as a child. And Jay came on. I'm rapping the lyrics. They're like, well, you know that? I'm like, yeah, y'all. I grew up listening to this music. Nas, Biggie, Tupac. My dad was a big Tupac fan. Yeah, so it made me feel really, really good. When I made Love Velour, I thought about my dad so much and the kind of music that he likes. He likes the hip hop soul. He likes rap, the 90s kind of, you know, sound. I think about that with Pull Up. But then he also likes R&B. He used to listen to, what's that man's name? Is it Case?
Oh, yeah, I like Case. He got that wedding song.
He's listening to him all the time. And what's the other man? Carlton Thomas.
Carl Thomas.
He's listening to him all the time. So yeah, it made me feel really, really good. My daddy is a quiet man, so he don't say much. So when he do say something, he really, really means it. So it means a lot.
Right. So like, as a gay man, like when it comes to fathers, a lot of times the fathers don't support the man as much as the mother would, but they'll support their daughter. Like, with you having a supportive father that has been there for you, had your back, loved you no matter what, do you feel like that plays a role into how prosperous you are now and like just your attitude with life and that support system being there?
Yeah, it was probably the opposite for me. My mom was probably more stressed out than my daddy. My daddy be like, when you gonna find a man and bring him are you gonna bring somebody to Thanksgiving so we can meet somebody? And if I can't have a friend at all, they're like, that's who you talking to right there? I want to meet him. Like, my daddy has always been supportive. Before I went off to college, my dad was like, I just want to tell you something, son. He's a quiet man. He's like, I don't care what you want to be. You want to be a doctor. You want to be a lawyer. You know, you want to be a teacher. You want to be gay. I was like, now how you just slide that up in there? This is where I came out, too. I'm like, how you just slide it up in there? But, yeah, I think it does help, you know, when you have parents who are supportive. My mama eventually came around. I think my mama's biggest thing was she always told me, you know, because you have made this decision or because you feel that you are this way, you do need to understand that you're going to have it a whole lot more difficult than the average person because you are a minority within a minority. You're a black gay man. So you're in an oppressed group, then you're in another oppressed group as well. So it's going to be 10 times harder. I think that was her biggest fear. She wanted me to understand that not everybody's going to be accepting it. It's going to be very hard. And I think she wanted me to have tough skin as well. But yeah, it makes it easier, you know, when you have parents who are supportive. I don't know what that feels like to not have parents who are supportive. I really don't. My heart goes out to so many people. I hear people like get kicked out their house. Like as a teenager
just for
and
being
stuff.
who
Like,
they are.
I just would never know how that felt. All the women in my life, in my family, the men too have always protected all of us, whether gay or straight or whatever. I think what was most important in my family was that you take your ass to school. And you go to college and you just get you a job and go and move out. And that's all it takes to be a man, whether you're gay or whether you're straight. I tell people I know more pulled up gay men who make more than a whole lot of straight men and way more of a man than any straight man, a lot of straight men that I know. But yeah, it makes it easier when you have a supportive family. My heart
Yeah.
always goes out to people who really don't have that experience.
Yeah. Okay, cousin. So, August 28th of last year, you made a post, child. You was playing at Jennifer Lopez. Ain't it funny?
What? Oh,
The caption said, there's no coming back, baby. You
it
remember that?
did. I remember that.
What was your mood that day? Like, what happened, cousin?
You know, the crazy part is I think I took that picture in front of the studio where I go and record it on Freedom. But it was like some kind of, it's like an event building. They be having like parties there and
Yeah.
stuff. I think I was recording LOVEVALOUR around this time. So I think I was just going through a moment like, you know what?
Yeah, through the energy of the album.
Yeah, I'm not going back to exes, or I'm not going back to nobody I ever dealt with. I was in that LOVEVALOUR era,
Yeah.
like mad and my feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when mental health awareness last year, you had posted basically saying you didn't realize that it was mental health day, but you had already took that day off to like just get a break for your mental health. Can you talk to the cousins about, as a entrepreneur, as an artist, like the importance of taking a mental break, and why is it, you know what I'm saying, why should they take mental breaks?
It's really, really important. You just don't want to run yourself crazy doing too much. I have to often tell myself to sit down. Like right now, I want to get back in the studio and I want to just work on a whole lot of different music. Like I want to collaborate with people, and I'm like, I need to sit in this. I just released something. Like let me calm down. But that's just always the mindset of somebody like me, who I'm just like always on to the next one. But you can really tire yourself out doing that. So it's important to, you know, take your vacations. I was just telling you a while ago, I done went to DR. I'm about to make that a bi-quarterly trip. Every other quarter, I'm gonna go for the weekend.
Get these 300 so I can leave.
Yeah, so it's important to do that. You don't want to run yourself out. And approaching my 30s, I'm really, really learning that, because your body will tell you when it's time for you to sit down. You know, the body can't go like it used to go. You know, it can't go like it used to go. You don't want to get to your 50s and 60s, and that's how a lot of us have health problems and stuff once we get up in age. So it's important that you do that. You want to show up as your best self, and you can only do that if you take care of your mental health. And go to therapy, black people. Ain't nothing wrong with therapy. Or find you a life coach. It's really important to find you a life coach.
It's just
or go to
something
therapy.
different about talking to somebody you don't know, but this their job to listen to it. You could kind of open up. You don't feel no boundaries. Like, fuck it.
Go to therapy. If you don't believe it, you want to people, I don't believe it, go talk to your pastor or somebody. Let it out. Please let it out. Don't be one of them people, you know, sitting there holding stuff in, holding grudges for years, and you'll never get ahead mentally, you know.
Now you got all
like
these
that.
albums talking about, I broke the window out your car.
Yeah, like you gotta be. I don't want to be sad. I want to come out joyful and excited, and let's turn up. Why turn down? We could turn up.
Right.
Come on.
What about balance? How do you find balance with everything that you got going on?
I'm still working on that. The only thing that I can balance is my 9 to 5, because that pays the bills. So that's
You ain't got no choice but to balance that.
That's gonna be my number one priority all the time. I think now I'm getting to a point, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier too, because I have so many different things. So with Malik the Job Plug, that is an ongoing thing. I got about 20 resumes I need to be doing right now. I'm gonna get them to y'all on time. But you gotta notice you gotta take heed to your frequency of what's going on. So for me, Malik the Job Plug is always a consistent thing. I got emails now I need to get to. It's always something that I can be doing every day. So maybe I set a time every day for 2 hours to work on this. Now, as far as House of Mélange, like I said, I just made $4,000 dropping some sunglasses. So I don't need to do that every quarter. I don't need to do that every month. It needs to be maybe I'll do a drop in the spring and y'all don't hear from me until, I don't know, winter. Because I'm able to, you know, get a lot of lucrative money from that. And then with my music, that's the only place I'm trying to find balance in, because it becomes addictive when you go in a studio and you master something and then you release and you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next one. I'm ready for the next thing. So I'm trying to handle that. I'm trying to like soak into, and let 316, kind of maneuver and let everybody feel it first. But I'm ready to get back in the studio. I'm learning balance. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But it's important too. It goes along with your mental health. You don't want to tire yourself out, because when you do, first of all, I've also learned too, you can't give 100% to everything. Something's gonna take the back seat. So I can't say I'm gonna release House of Mélange every month, because it might not be the best quality when I gotta keep up this 9 to 5, and when I also gotta do these resumes every day. Something's gonna take a back lead. So it's a give and take kind of thing.
Like, they should probably consider which one is calling them the most and more important to them at that moment.
Yep. I would say for me, the resumes and stuff, it's like easy work to me. Like, that's something I can really knock out an hour or two. But like when you get to music and the fashion, you want to be, that's stuff that people are taking in. They soaking it in. I'm really like hard on myself with music. I'm very particular, so that's always going to be a process, a bit of a longer process. And then you want to make sure your quality of your clothes and all that kind of stuff is right. So you just kind of have to like balance out, or like kind of write down what the priority is, how long it's going to take to establish, and what the deadline looks like, how many hours do I need to put into this, and kind of go from there.
Okay, so on March 16, you dropped your album 316, the remastered version.
Yes.
Did you name it 316 because of your birthday?
Yes, because I was born on 3/16, 1995.
Okay, so what made you want to remaster it?
So when I first released the original version, I listened to it and I just did not like it. And music is one of those things where once you put it out there, it's out there. So I was like, oop. I was in the DR. I was like, I'm about to take this down, and it's okay. This is my first go around. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again. So I really had multiple versions of the tracks. I had multiple versions of the tracks, and there were some changes that I made to what I thought was gonna be the finalized version, which ended up being the original version that I submitted. And originally, the album was supposed to flow into each song. There were like echoes that would like kind of fade out, but on the next song. It would be like at the end of one song, but it would go to the next song, so to kind of fade into the other one. And for whatever reason, it just was not given to me. I just was like, we're gonna end these songs one by one. I think the interludes are more than enough for transitional pieces. That was my biggest thing. I wanted to make it feel like a good transition. You know how when you listen to Renaissance, the beginning of Renaissance, you just go one after the other. You're just in a trance almost. I wanted to feel like that, and it did not give that. So I took it down, and I just released one of the other versions that I had, because I had like multiple versions. That's one thing I do when I do go to a studio. I record myself singing multiple kind of versions of one, because my mind changes. I'm a Pisces. Today I want this, tomorrow I want that. So I'm a water sign. We're all like that. So yeah, I just released one of the other master versions that I had.
Okay, what would you say is your favorite song on the album, and why?
It changes because
today, what's your favorite song?
Today, what is my favorite song today? I've been listening to a lot of Never Heard Again, and I never thought that was gonna be my favorite song, because when I first recorded it, it was like fresh out. Actually, LOVEVALOUR had just got released, and I went to the studio the next day, and I recorded that song. And I didn't like it at first, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be coming out of this sad love song stuff. But I ended up, before I released the album, I went back and added some extra background vocals towards the middle end of the song, and it really adds a new dynamic to it. So I like that song. I also feel like it's sort of sad. It's not too sad. It's more like self-assuring of yourself, like, knowing what you want.
Yeah.
It's a little toxic too. Some of the words are a little toxic, which I love.
Yeah, I got that song wrote down. That's the one I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
But before we talk about that song, because we definitely about to do Help Me Understand These Lyrics, Cuzns. Y'all already know when I interview the artists, we got to understand their lyrics and what they was talking about.
I love this.
So we're going to start off with the intro, because I love the intro.
Okay.
So the intro's called The Art of the Pisces. So it starts off with it saying, Pisces is very romantic, Pisces is a very romantic sign. So it's very common for them to fall in love before they even meet the person in question. They create a veil of illusion and romance around their love affair that does not always match their reality. Can you talk to the Cuzns about that? Help us understand the Pisces a little bit more.
Yeah, in other words, I can meet you today on the first date, and I'm already planning our love life, our kids, and everything in my head. Like, oh my gosh, I instantly know. It's almost like they say with women, well, men too. I've heard of men say like that are married men that when they met their wife, they knew the first time that she. Now that's a little bit of delusion in that. Because you don't even know this person. But Pisces, we tend to do that. We get attached very quickly. We wear our emotions on our sleeve. So sometimes it can be a good thing if the person ends up being a good person for you, but it can also be bad if they're not really bad for you.
Yeah.
And you have to detach yourself away, or you try to live in this like fantasy of it, hoping that it's going to be good when it's really, really not. Pisces are dreamers. I'm really, really big on zodiacs, if you guys can't tell, based on my songs.
Yeah,
I love zodiacs.
I can tell.
So yeah, Pisces are dreamers. We like to be in a fantasy world. We like to, feel like we're on cloud nine. And yeah, I'm just one of those people where if I really meet a person and I can be with you for 90 days, I'm like, okay, are we together now?
You done passed the probation period.
Yeah, are we together now? Like, what we doing? Because,
Because we was together since day one.
Yeah.
You just didn't know yet.
What we doing? We together, basically.
Right. And we together. Love never hurts. Let's talk about it, cousin. On that song, you say, he's been lost and found, but he's still around. All the wrongs, but he's still strong. No more hurt again. No more telling him that he's gonna say, no more telling him what he's gonna say. No more telling him what he's gonna be. No more hurt again. Can you talk to the Cuzn about those bars?
Oh, for Never Hurt Again. So that is one of my favorite songs right now. So that song, I'm inspired by a lot of different artists, as I said earlier. Never Hurt Again is inspired by a Neo song called Fade in the Background. There's also some parts of Miss Independent, I believe, that's in that song. But the song is also inspired by a Mary J. Blige song, two Mary J. Blige songs. One being Take Me As I Am, one of my favorite songs by Mary J. Blige. And another one being, it's a deep cut called Hurt Again off her Growing Pains album. I bought my mama the album in 2007. For Christmas, I remember that. But those lyrics, I kind of pulled inspiration from those songs, but I also pulled it from my own experience. The first song that I ever went to the studio to record was a feature that I did with an artist called J-Dub, and he's been lost and found. That's one of the lyrics that was in that song that I pulled back to kind of have a little nostalgic moment there. I'm all about nostalgic moments, if you guys can't tell in my album. And then, yeah, he's been lost and found. Read it again for me.
Okay, hold on. He's been lost and found, but he's still around. All of the wrongs, but he's still strong. No more hurt again. No more telling him what he's going to say. No more telling him what he's going to be. No more hurt again.
The last part right there goes back to some of my experiences of, being in the studio or being in relationships and people who want to tell you who to be, what to sing, what to wear, and kind of coming into your own and saying, you know what, that don't make me feel good. I'm not going back to that. So no more hurt again. Yeah.
How long did it take for you to get to that point, Cuzn, to where you was like, you know what, fuck what y'all say, fuck what y'all think. I'm going to do what I got to do. Ain't no more hurt again.
It took me 7 years.
It's been about 7 years.
Since 2016, I kind of been going through that roller coaster in relationships and in the studio.
Okay,
Yeah.
Why the studio?
Because I think I was very nervous going into the studio. I'm always a little nervous. Like, my nerves are always a little shot because I want to put my best into it. And just trusting that people who didn't really know what they were doing and then kind of figuring out in the long run that, okay, I have my best interests at the end of the day, and kind of trusting in myself.
You're not going to tell me what to say on this song.
Yes. Or how to sound, or what run to do. Or,
Right.
No, let me, I got this. I am the vocal producer.
Right.
Okay, I'll take care of the vocals. You do the rest.
Executive producer.
Yes.
Okay. So you also say, I'm gonna take my heart, leave you are without it. I think it said leave you are without it. I'm gonna heal myself and run. Ooh. Forgive and forget the illusion of it. I can never let myself hurt again. When you say I'm gonna heal myself and run, what does that look like, cousin? Like,
Yeah, it goes back to being a Pisces. So Pisces, we go through these moments of isolation a lot of times. If you have any Pisces friends, they'll be like out and about. Like we could be social people, but then it comes to a moment where we're like, you know what, I don't feel like dealing with nobody. And so the best way for me to heal, at least me being a Pisces, just for me to get over stuff is to have my own moment and to sort of isolate it so I can like reflect on some shit and get my mind right. And then I think the part you're talking about is forgive and forget, delusion effect. I'll never hurt again. I've kind of like trained myself to like, first of all, when I am upset at somebody or when I'm through with something, I'm through. Like it ain't no coming back. And I'm gonna tell you why, because I do right by people.
are you one and done?
Oh yes, I do right by people. So I think that when someone does me wrong, now there are things that we can forgive, of course, and we can move on. But you know, there are some things to me that it's just like, okay, that comes from a place of being inconsiderate. Like I would never see you on that level. So how did you consider me like that to do this to me? So when I get like that as a Pisces, when I have wiped my hands of you and I'm not going back to the sink, my best method of, you know, moving on is I'm gonna act like you never existed. It could be like you. It could be like you were never here. You could be sitting right here beside me, and I don't have nothing for you. Nothing.
I've never met you before.
I have never met you before. You are dust in the wind. I don't have nothing for you. That's the best way for me not to be reactive, because you know, in my younger days, I feel like Pisces always get the rap for being like, you know, feisty and crazy. You know, I would have gave that, you know, back and forth and all that, which I ain't got time.
Because Krishan, Pisces,
Yeah.
would you like Krishan crazy?
No,
then?
I ain't no fighter, but I'm gonna use this mouth. This mouth is lethal. But like now, the older I've gotten, I'm like, I don't have the energy for that. I want peace in my life. Go away from me with this.
Right.
I want peace.
Not go away from me with this, cousin.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. So let me just act like you never existed. We didn't go together. We didn't do nothing together. I don't know you. Somebody said, y'all, no, we never. Who? You never. They never existed. It's like, just be, you know, done with it.
You're erased.
Yep.
Now, when I heard that song, after I finished listening to it, it made me think about another song you got, the Scorpio song. Because that Scorpio man was like all over the place. Did a Scorpio hurt you as in relations to this other song?
Yeah, I've dated a lot of Scorpios. They were all no good, but I liked them though.
What was it about the Scorpio?
They just toxic. You know, I'm Pisces. We can be toxic and play that game back and forth. And, you know, people always say, oh, Pisces are toxic or Scorpios are toxic. Well, we're just meant for each other. I can handle a Scorpio. But Scorpios are fun. That song, a lot of people take different narratives on that song. Like, some of the guys I've talked to, like, oh, you talking shit. That's about me. Then there's some other guys I talk to, like, I like it. Like, yeah, I get off on it. Like, I like that. It's not like you're addicted or whatever. But I think Never Hurt Again mixes a lot of different experiences in my personal life and relationships, friendships, versus Signs of a Scorpio is strictly about relationships with other people that I've dated.
Okay, because I was like, oh, I wonder was the Scorpio one of the ones that hurt him.
Well, yeah, probably could be. It could be. It's been a lot of hurt. I mean, in my personal, like I said, in my relationships. You know, the fact that for 7 years I was going around saying, yeah, y'all working on this music that it never came out. That's so embarrassing. I'm working on this music, y'all. I've been in the studio and it ain't never came out until 7 years later. That was a lot of hurt. A lot of people looking at you like, child, please. That music ain't coming out. Hurt from like I said earlier, trying to make myself a part of environments that were not accepting or that didn't want me to have a seat at the table, and having to realize, you know what, I'm doing me this time. I'm going to create my own places and my own spaces. I'm going to create my own things, House of Mélange, and my own different things that I can have a safe space in. So yeah, I think Never Heard Again just mixes personal, professional. It mixes all these different things. Versus Signs of a Scorpio, it's just really about relationships, but it's also about friendships too. A lot of my friends are Scorpios, and they all up and down. Yes, no, maybe so. They wanted the day. They be singing no when it's really yeah. Very Destiny's Child. Yeah. But I love Scorpio. Scorpio. A lot of my friends, a lot of my closest friends are Scorpios, and my favorite cousin is Scorpio.
Okay, shout out to you, cousin. What can the cousins expect from you within the next year?
Within the next year, I want to continue focusing on health and fitness. I've been a really big advocate for. First of all, people know I'm an open book. So, back in August of last year, I started taking semaglutide weight loss shots, and I have lost 45 pounds since then. So I've really been trying to work on not only, keeping the shots as a way to, lose weight, but having a overall healthy lifestyle, eating healthier, going to the gym more. We're getting older, guys, we gotta maintain. I really want to work on that. I want to eventually start working on doing some performances. I'm not too big on like, oh, I gotta get out there and like perform right now, just because I feel like I have more music and more things I need to put out. Like, I don't know. I'm not really big on performing right now. I know I could do it. I've been singing all my life. I mean, that's nothing new to me to get in front of a crowd and sing. But I do feel like, when it comes to performance, you got to work on your stamina. You got to work on, the body. Are you going to be able to do a 30-minute show? Can you do that? And I think working on my fitness and my health journey right now is going to help me to get to where I need to go. So, yeah.
Okay, what about your why? What's your why? I do this because
it's fun. It's my place of healing. I don't have to put too much stress on myself. I feel happy. I feel free. I feel excited to keep going and doing it again and again and again. It's like an adrenaline kind of. It's like a high almost. And Coco said that to me about my last album, my last EP, Love Velour. I was like, when I finished, I was like, I'm ready to do something else. And I want you to know, I went into the studio the last 2 weeks of December, and I finished 316. So it's like a high. I want to continue, doing it, but I also want to keep that balance because, that's really important.
What about your ultimate goal? What's your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal, like with music or which
with
part?
Music in your businesses. I'm gonna say entrepreneur-wise and just as an artist.
I mean, I never thought about, making it super far in music. It's just always been something that I love to do. So, but like I said, if Hov came in right now and want to sign a B or anybody, I'm gonna sign the papers. So I never thought about, how far that could actually go. I'm really just enjoying the moment of it actually being done after 7 years. So I don't know really what that looks like. I know I want to continue releasing music though, and I want to continue exploring like new areas. Like I want to do some ratchet music.
Ratchet, okay.
I want to do.
It's gonna give us like Lotto,
No,
Glorilla.
I want to do like Trap and B. I can't let that go for some reason.
Okay, 7th Street.
Yeah, 7th Street, a little Chris Brown, a little Bryson Tiller.
Okay.
I want to change it up, do some more modernized R&B music.
Okay.
But I don't know what it looks like in the future. I do know I want to eventually maybe help artists, develop artists, go in the studio with them, help them with their vocal production. Folks got to stop depending on their sound engineer to do their vocal production, especially if your sound engineer don't know how to sing. Yeah, so really, help with stuff like that, development, artist development. As far as Malik the Job Plug, I would really, really love to start a tip agency one day.
You basically already done started one.
I would really love to start. When I tell people who are struggling to find jobs, y'all are on Indeed and LinkedIn looking for jobs and you're not getting them, go to the tip agency. Go to the tip agency is the best way to get a plethora of experience. And they might have a contract job, but the great thing about it is you might be there, and if you don't like it, they'll go find you another job, just like that. So I would love to start some type of like career readiness, like center or like business geared towards Black folks and people of color, and put it in our neighborhood.
Right.
That would be really, really nice, like an ultimate dream. As far as fashion, House of Mélange, I like where I am now because House of Mélange can get very stressful because it sells out, which I'm blessed. Thank you guys for supporting, but I like where I am now with House of Mélange with, releasing stuff like bi-quarterly. So just maintaining. That's my goal, and taking more vacations.
Okay, now this last question, and then I got one more, which is going to be the question of the night. Ask everybody this question. What's one thing that you want the world to know about you?
One thing I want the world to know about me. That is a really good question. One thing I want the world to know about me is I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. No, I'm just playing. One thing I want the world to know about me, I am a music junkie. So I try to create relatable music that everybody can enjoy. Like I said earlier, your grandmama can listen to something on there. Your mama probably will like, I want to go back. She gonna want to feel like she at Freaknik, listen to 90s music. If you like a Jodeci type of feel, R&B, I want everyone to be able to pull from something and from my art. And I had posted this today actually on my story. I told, I had received this text message that I received from this marketing team that I've been working with, and they basically just pull information from the streaming services that I can basically see on my own, but it kind of makes it easier when I have somebody to just say, hey, this is what your streaming is, and this is da-da-da-da-da, and break it down for me. So they send me a monthly text every 21st of the month, and it'll break down what my streams are, and as they was breaking it down, in the email and the text that they sent, I noticed that the streams went up or whatnot for LOVEVALOUR. And of course I don't have streams yet for 316. It's not ready to, cycle yet. But the streams went up for LOVEVALOUR right before my release of 316. But I was posting on my story, I don't care if I had 0 streams because this is something that I really enjoy doing. So I want people to know that I didn't just wake up and say, I'm going to be a singer. This is something I have done all of my life. I see so many people who, I don't know that this was their calling or that this is what they are really serious about doing when I listen to their craft, especially someone who just started doing this yesterday professionally. I don't know how a lot of people honestly, I just sometimes wonder who are some of these folks' friends. I know you done heard some folks' music and you like the quality and just all the technicality part of it that I feel like people are not putting, especially local artists. It should not be a situation where I listen to your music and you sound like a local artist. If I wanted that, I would have had music out a long time ago. So I have the vision of go hard or go home. Like, I want people to know that this is not just something I woke up and decided to do, like, oh, I'm going to release music because I got, money from my HR funds to do it. No, I really like what I do, and I don't care if it didn't stream, not one stream. I don't care if nobody likes the music. I like it. I feel comfortable about it, and I can leave this world. If I passed away, God forbid, today, it would be well within my soul to know, like, I left a piece of myself musically in history, in the history of music, because it's always going to be there. Even when I'm gone. So that's what I want people to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cousin. That was some good info. It was deep, but it was good.
Thank you.
So we're going to do the question of the night.
Okay.
And the question of the night, because some of your music gives zodiac energy.
Yes.
So who would you say is your most compatible and least compatible sign when it comes to friendships and relationships?
friendships and relationships. So first of all the water signs are always great friends. Cancers and Scorpios. Scorpio, I be wanting to make a good relationship with them, but they don't want to do right. They don't really want to do right. I feel like I do good with Leos because I'm very indecisive. So I need somebody to be like, no, this is what we do today. This is what we doing. I'm like, okay. Because I can't make up my mind sometimes.
Right.
I'm like a Scorpio. I'm a water sign. I'm indecisive sometimes. So I think I do good with Leos in relationships. I don't do good with Leos in friendships, though. I learned that the hard way. And you know why? Because I'm okay with somebody being possessive in a relationship, but in a friendship, you don't get that power.
Right.
You don't own me. I'm going to have other friends, and I have a life now. I had an ex-Leo friend who thought she was going to tell me who to hang out with and why you at. Girl, where's your friends? Like, hold up. Now, we don't go together. And she even told me that one time on the phone. We used to talk morning, noon, and night. And that girl told me, you know, it feel like we go together. And I should have stopped the friendship right then and there because that's a codependent friendship. That's not good. But that works for me in a relationship. But she was just a girl. Like, girl, I want you, hold on.
Right.
I do work well with Virgos. They say Virgos and Pisces, like we're the evil twins. Like we're the same person, but we do things in a different way. Virgos are very like creative and just technical with everything. And yeah, they can be a little asinine, but I work well with them. My grandmother's a Virgo. I love her. I think I work well with every sign.
What about Sagittarius? Because I'm a Sagittarius. Give me your true opinion.
I like Sagittarius. People do feel like, my sister's a Sag, but people feel like Sagittarius are very like opinionated people. I think Nicki and like, when I think of a Sag, I think of like Nicki Minaj and I think of Nene. They're very...
Nene Leakes? I didn't know she was a Sag.
So I think that a lot of times they kind of, people can be intimidated by Sagittarius, but I can roll with the big dog.
Right.
Yeah, I can roll with
Because
him.
listen, our energy connecting over here, cuz.
Yeah, I can roll with it. It don't do me no harm. So yeah, I fit in with everybody. I feel like every sign. There's not one sign that I'm just like, oh, I hate. And there might be signs like I don't really know about. Like I don't know too much about Taurus a whole lot.
Yeah.
I hear they can be a little stubborn, but it's all very, some of that stuff is very generic and then some of it can apply. All of it is not true, but I mean, I do like zodiacs. For the most part, for me, I feel like I'm a true Pisces.
Okay.
I'm a true Pisces. The real ones that are born in March.
Pisces. Oh, the real was born in March.
Yes.
Okay.
Not in February.
Okay.
Those are the opening acts.
Yes, one of my closest, one of my bestest friends, her birthday is March 15th. She just had a birthday. She went to Miami for her birthday.
Oh, she's right before me. We're good people. We can be misunderstood. I mean, I can get us in trouble, but I feel like the older I get, at least, the better I get. Like, the more I'm like, let me shut
like
up.
wine, get better with time.
Yeah, let me shut up. Don't say nothing. Kind of situation. Versus in my younger days, if you thought it, I was gonna say it. I was gonna say it, and then somebody's feelings was gonna be hurt, and I might have apologized, or maybe I didn't, and I stood by it. But you know, the older I get, I feel like the more I just want peace.
Yeah.
I just want peace. You know, Tamar's a Pisces. Tamar, Rihanna, Krishan, like you said. So they kind of like they act like Pisces.
Yeah. Yeah, they firecrackers, but Tamar and Rihanna done tamed it down a little. Even Krishan though. Yeah, I think Tamar tamed it down a little notch.
You think so?
I think Krishan did
Tamar.
too.
But sometimes I'm like, okay, we 48 now. Rihanna definitely has toned it down. Rihanna used to clap back on people on her Twitter page, like random people. She definitely has toned it down. But yeah, a lot of it is relative as far as the zodiacs, but I really like it. You know how I got into that?
How?
My mom actually gave me a zodiac book. It was an astrology book.
When your mom? What's her sign?
She's a Cancer.
Oh,
she's a water sign.
My mom was a Cancer.
Aren't they like nurturing? But they so
Yeah,
sensitive.
they are.
Like
I feel like they too nice sometimes.
My mama, she just takes everything to heart.
Yeah.
I could be like, I'm not coming over there. Well, you just don't want to see your mama. I'm like, dang, girl. I didn't say that. I just said I'm not going to come over. Like, they just really sensitive.
Yes, I used to feel like my mom was way too nice. Not for me, but just like, I could see the simplest thing and be like, mom. In my mind, like, why you ain't cuss them out? Like, let me say it for you. Like,
that's true. My mama she can get like that. But then when she get in her mad bad.
It's a whole different story.
Oh, different. I'm like, now, mama, you was just welcoming the people up. Now you done got upset.
Yeah.
But they good people. They good people.
So before we get up out of here, cousin, let them know where they can find you at one more time.
Yes, you guys can find me on Instagram, Malik Rashod. It's MalikRashod. It's not an A. You can also find me on Blue Sky, same username. You can find me on Facebook, same username, Malik Rashod. I'm not really on Twitter. I deleted my page because all that mess was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I did create a new page because I wanted to keep my username. But mainly on Instagram, hit me up, you guys. That's where my main bulk of my following is. You can also look me up on houseofmelange.com if you want to get your merch. RossGroveEntertainment.com as well for those who are maybe some aspiring artists that want to, get some investment. I'm looking to pay for somebody's studio time, but you got to be able to sing or have a talent. So yeah, you can also look up my resume building service at Malik the Job Bug on Instagram.
Okay, y'all go check him out. He got a lot going on. And look, he doing it for y'all. So y'all go support him, go shop with him, go just check him out. Give him a follow. Like, he got a lot going on and he's helping our people out. So big shout out to him. Again, go follow him. Shout out to y'all, cousins. I thank y'all so much for tuning in every week. Y'all make it possible for me to be able to bring y'all these wonderful interviews. Y'all already know who I am. It's your girl, Goddess 7. Until next time, cousins. Bye.
Bye.
Go, Cuzn. Go, Cuzn. Go,